back to the channel. I have another subscriber request for, I originally had done the OP monsters versus OP, well, I guess Russian bias, so to say, and the Russians ended up needing, I think, about 3 tier 8s in their matchmaking just to take on and win against the OP monsters, which honestly is quite crazy. It really goes to show just how OP some of these monster tanks are. So now we're gonna go up against the German engineering. So it couldn't just be any German tank that someone wanted to pick. The first match is just a warm-up. We're just gonna go with the same tiers for both sides. So if the OP monsters had 6 tier 7s and maybe 1 tier 5, then it had to be the same on the German side as well. And then if the Germans lost the first round, then they got one tier 8 on their side. Then if they lost again, then they get 2 tier 8s. And if they lose again, so forth. And I think, like I said, with the one I did between the Russians and the OP monsters, the Russians, I think, needed about 3 tier 8. So we're going to see how the German engineering can actually do against the OP monsters. So I decided to be the Gravedigger, which, in my opinion, and before I say anything, a lot of people like the Gravedigger. I personally, I really don't like the Gravedigger. Really, I mean, the tank itself isn't bad. I mean, the maneuverability's good, the armor's good. I mean, it doesn't have great gun depression, but honestly, it really doesn't even need that for it to be a good tank. The thing I struggle the most with this tank is the inaccuracy after each shot that you're trying to get out from all your rounds that you have to clip out an enemy. Your accuracy resets super inaccurate. Even when you're coming across tier 8s, that makes it very difficult because your rounds just have such a hard time penetrating. You have to use, I feel like, APCR so much. Now, if you're against other tier 7s, it really doesn't do bad. When you're against tier 6, it's actually fine. It's really when you're facing tier 8 tanks that the Gravedigger really struggles. So the monsters took the first round. As a matter of fact, they dominated. All seven survived. And when doing this, we swapped out subscribers, people just, wanting to help with the vid. Have a lot of people in the queue, in the waiting room as we're doing this, and try to rotate, swap out players so it's different for all the different rounds. So it's not just the same set of players all the time. So, honestly, it was a lot of fun, and I love doing these videos with the subscribers. I want to thank all my subscribers for helping me do this. If you guys want to help with the videos, once again, shoot me a friend request. I'm on the NA server. I love to platoon with my subs when I can, just when time permits, just given full-time job and family, kids, YouTube channel. But definitely love to. You guys are what makes the channel. And then also join my Discord server. That is where I make the announcements of when I do these videos. So here, over kind of on the side, just side scraping. Now in this one, the German tanks, because they lost the first round, they now get 1 tier 8 tank. So they get to have an RHM on their side. Just gonna try pushing up and just try to see what we can do. It actually is really not too bad. I mean, if you can really get a large, weak spot exposed on an enemy tank, that autoloader, or to clip an enemy with that gravedigger clip, is not too bad. It's primarily when you're facing other heavily armored tanks and you have those thin or small areas of weaker armor you can penetrate, and then that's, I feel like, where it really struggles. So that RHM just got absolutely annihilated. We're gonna go ahead and push, and it looks like the monsters easily took the second round, even with the Germans having one tier 8 tank. So now we're gonna step it up, and now they're gonna get 2 tier 8 tanks. So let's just see what they can do here. Okay, so on the German side for the tier 8 tanks, they got a Yak Tiger 8.8, and then they have the Panther tier 8. So, and then the rest, the Tiger 1s, Tiger Ps, and then on the OP monster side, try just mixing it up with a variety. It's mainly just the bulk of it is all tier 7 tanks. Now at the beginning in the first match of Fort of Despair, I believe we had the Spike in with us, but try just mixing it up with like a one of each. In terms of the German tanks, I really just kind of let the subscribers just choose what they wanted to choose. I know I had a lot of people in my previous vid I did with OP monsters versus Russian bias, and some people wondering, why wasn't there certain tanks used? It's really, I just kind of let the subscribers pick what they want. They just have to be the correct tier is all. So we're gonna just see if the monsters can now beat the Germans having 2 tier 8 tanks. So far we're doing pretty good. I feel like we've got them in a pretty bad spot, and the Gravedigger can bounce some rounds. I mean, it does have pretty good armor. Oh, nice. So our team is fairly well positioned. Okay, so we have just lost one of our monster tanks, and this Tiger 1 is putting me in a pretty bad spot, and that was not a good shot. I've got to try angling myself. That's the thing, is with something that does so little damage per shot, I really don't feel like the aimer should be resetting itself that much. That's just my personal opinion. But so we've got a Dracula helping me out here. I'm gonna try to protect him as much as I can if he can get behind me. So, okay, now it looks like the monster tanks are starting to get ahead. So we've now taken out 3 of the monster tanks. They've taken out 1. Well, now we've taken out 4. So even with 2 tier 8 tanks, things are not looking too good. I'm still able to bounce some rounds, which is pretty good from this tier 8. So like I said, I mean, the Gravedigger has pretty good armor. This guy is he's not in a great spot. So only 2 German tanks left. So yeah, definitely not looking good for the German tanks. So only 1 left. Okay. Alright. So he took out one of our... Oh, he's actually doing pretty good by himself. He just took out 2 of the monster tanks. Ooh. He's doing pretty good just by himself. but let's see if we can. All right, well, good fight, honestly. The Germans did a little better. The fact that they had 2 tier 8 tanks. Now we're going to step it up to the Germans now having 3 tier 8 tanks. So we got Tiger again, the Panther, and the Tiger 2 as the tier 8, so the Panther 2. And we're going to see if the OP monsters can pull through again. Once again, just kind of mixing up the subscribers, just the people, swapping them out, just with some different players, just to see if we get some different results, different skills. And I feel like we got a great bounce there. You know, honestly, if you can really clip an enemy out, you can do some great damage with that Gravedigger. Like I said, I feel like it's not very accurate. The penetration is just not that great. If I were to be just using standard AP rounds, I wouldn't even be able to penetrate the front of this Tiger very well. With it angled like that against me, I would be bouncing most of my shots. So, alright, well, got the Annihilator just up behind us. This Panther 2 is not in a good spot here. Angle and do what we can. Can we bounce around? Yep, beautiful. So the biggest difference between the battle I did with the Russian tanks versus the OP monsters is that the Russian tanks are typically known for their large derpy cannons, but they're not very accurate. Whereas the German tanks, they typically have really good accuracy, and so that's like one of the biggest differentiators between the Russian and the German tanks. German tanks I really do like. They're really good. The Tiger 1 is a very good and capable tank. I do really like a lot of the German tanks, and right now you can even see with the OP monsters being against, see, even facing the front of this Tiger, I don't even stand much of a chance. Which, the front of the Tiger 2 is a beast. But, yeah, even with the Germans having 3 tier 8 tanks, you can see they're really struggling to defeat the monster tanks. I mean, it really is quite crazy that it wasn't just the one game that showed us this with the Russian tanks versus the monster tanks. We're now seeing the very, very similar results as we did with that one, with this one, with the monsters versus the German tanks. So, pretty crazy. We did one more just to double check this with 3 tier 8s on the German side, because I really feel like the Germans can do it with 3 tier 8s. So swapped out some different players here just to see if we get some different results. But I'll let you guys enjoy this one. I don't really have much else to say. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.